Hi there. Welcome to another Turbo review. Today I'll be looking at Transformers Reveal the Shield Windcharger. Oh yeah. Reveal the Shield Windcharger. In the UK, and maybe even Canada, I'm sure there was a time when you couldn't walk into a store without tripping over piles of this figure. But here in the US, he was, and still is, scarcer than scarce. He never saw a proper retail release, as most stores never carried the later waves of the Reveal the Shield line. He was available from Hasbro's online store for about 3 seconds before selling out and never being restocked. To be fair, he did show up recently at discount stores like Ross and Marshall's, but it was a situation where if you blinked, you would have missed him. Many trans fans here in the US are still looking for this figure. Until recently, I was one of them, but during a trip to my local comic book store, I spotted him sitting in a glass case next to the register. Of course, he was loose with no instructions, but here, finally, was a figure that I had been looking for a long, long time, and I picked him up. Now, I'm reviewing him. Reveal the Shield Windcharger's alt mode is a muscle car of sorts. Though I see elements of several real-world cars, he isn't based on any one in particular. Hasbro managed to include touches like the slots on his rear windows that reference his G1 appearance while still maintaining a modern feel. He's got a bit of detailing at the front and at the back, and sports a mini rub symbol on the hood. Oh, and he rolls very well too. His only drawback is that the undercarriage reveals so many robot parts, including the head. Alt mode gets an 8.5. Transformation has just the right amount of complexity for a Scout class figure. All his bits fold out the way you'd expect them to, and in that way, his conversion is very intuitive. Transformation score is 8.5. Reveal the Shield Windcharger is a solid-looking Scout class robot. He references his G1 counterpart so much better than Hasbro's previous attempt, Alternator's Windcharger, which, let's face it, should have been Alternator's Overdrive. Head sculpt looks a little boxy, but that's only par for the course since it's an accurate depiction of his G1 cartoon look. His hands are actually separate pieces, which is a nice touch even if they feel a little delicate. I'm giving his robot mode an 8.5. Articulation on this figure is fantastic. Plenty of ball joints and hinges allow for a great range of movement, and you'll be able to get him into most any pose you want. Articulation score is an 8.5. Reveal the Shield Windcharger has two gimmicks. The first is his rub symbol. I've covered the rub symbols in other Reveal the Shield figure reviews, so I won't go into detail here. His other gimmick is these flip-out weapons that he has stored in his arms. These are in reference to the magnet weapons he had in Generation 1. It's a neat little gimmick, and I'd rather he had it than not. Gimmick score is an 8.5. Overall score for Reveal the Shield Windcharger is an 8.5. He's solid in both modes, transforms very well for a Scout class, and has an excellent amount of articulation. His weapon gimmick adds to the play value without compromising any other part of the figure. Highly, recommended. You know, Reveal the Shield Windcharger is one of those figures that many people here in the United States still consider to be a holy grail of sorts. For me, he was never really one of those. I actually have my own holy grail. There's only one figure, and maybe I'll tell you guys about it someday. But that's for a different video. Absolutely, Windcharger is a great little figure, but I think a big part of his appeal comes from the fact that here in the US he was so scarce. Not that I don't think that he would be just about as popular with the fans if he were a little bit easier to come by. It's just that I think he would be less of a conversation piece. Well, thanks for watching, everyone, and TTFN.